Hey everybody, I'm Michelle Roy of Dragonfly Wellness, and this is the third part in a multi-part video series we're doing this month called Meaningful May. Meaningful May has been about dedicating the time that we spend in nature as a mindfulness practice. So ways that we experience our something bigger in nature. It often happens in nature. So we've talked about forests, we've talked about water, rivers, lakes, and this week we're talking about mountains. As you can see, I am in my mountain office. We are at our place in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it is stunningly beautiful right now. Spring, green, lovely. So there's something really special about the mountains. And before I lived in Florida, had lived in Colorado for several years, and I also have family there. So I've spent a lot of time in the Rockies. And when I first moved to the East Coast, I was like, oh, I really miss the mountains, and everyone would say, well, we have mountains here. We have the Appalachians. And the first time I really spent time in the Appalachians, I thought, these are mountains. But you know what? Over time, I have grown to love these mountains so much. Love these mountains so much. First of all, they're older than the Rockies. There's an ancientness to the land here, and it is just a really, I think, profound experience when you allow yourself to really be with the land. It's very grounding. In our mountains, yeah, they're smaller than the ones out west, and they do tend to have more green, and they're more lush and foresty. And we have such a beautiful combination of the elements here because we do have the earth, this wonderful mossy earth of these mountains, along with bright sunshine, beautiful breezes, and streams and rivers. And in our particular part here of upstate South Carolina and Southwest North Carolina, there's a strong concentration of waterfalls here. So it's super magical to have all of these elements in harmony with one another. And you can drop in virtually anywhere. They have roadside hikes that lead in just moments to waterfalls that you can sit and really be present with. And in that same thing that I talked about last time with the water, and just really appreciating how this very water has traveled the world over, and now you're appreciating it here in the mountains. And let's not dismiss the Rockies though. Those mountains are majestic and awe-inspiring and breathtaking and nerve-wracking when you get up really high. I've done some pretty precarious hiking out there in the Rockies, and it's humbling. That puts you in touch with your mortality, recognizing that you could, at one moment be falling off of a 9,000 foot cliff or something. It's pretty humbling. It's very, it's truly breathtaking, truly breathtaking. And those mountains though, they're big and they have kind of a severity, right? It's a vast place to explore. And it's in those moments, right, where we're at the foot of some giant mountain or nestled deep in some old mountains, where we start to, again, appreciate this life that we have and our place in it, our role in it. What is our legacy that we're leaving? These are the kinds of things that we can contemplate when we get away from the noise of life. And I love a city. Everyone knows I love New York City. I love being in downtowns of all the cities that I've lived in and been near and that I enjoy visiting. I love that. The city has its own vibrancy and its own things to celebrate, right? But when we talk about nature, when we get outside of all of that, there's a lot going on, right? It's a lot of stimulation. We get outside of all that and we have a different kind of stimulation. It's one that invites us to go inward and to examine, to listen. And when we do engage in that deep listening, that's where our inspirations come from. What lately I've been calling our what's next, right? Yes, it's good to plan things. It's good to have goals that we're working towards or whatever. But it's also nice to just think about what we're going to do next. Like, if there's some change I'm inviting in my life, maybe I don't even know what that looks like. All I have to figure out is what I want to do next. What's going to take me in that direction? And if I hit enough roadblocks in that direction, I get the idea like, okay, this is not working out. It's creating all this stress. Let me change directions, right? But we have to get out of the noise to really contemplate that. And nature is one way that we can do that. We're not all comfortable sitting on our meditation cushions at 6 a.m. in quiet and asking the questions then, right? Sometimes we just can't get the answers that we're looking for there, but we can in nature. Because in nature, it puts your brain on a completely different level and it invites you to think with your heart. So there's your inspiration this week, everybody. Get out there in nature. If you're near any kind of elevation, climb and look around and ask and see what inspiration you get to do next. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day, and I will see you again very soon with some more inspiration. Namaste, everybody.